Hello folks, John Lee here in Northeast Portland. Behind me is where a proud statue of a founding father, George Washington, used to stand. Sadly, we recently got national attention for the destruction of this monument, for the destruction of private property. But it touches home in a very, very personal way, and this just makes me not only sad but angry. George Washington led our nation as a founding father to create a more perfect union. Didn't mean he was perfect, didn't mean our country was perfect. But compared to anywhere else on the face of the earth, America is the place of opportunity, of hope, and equality for everyone, imperfect as we may be. And I'm just unbelievably saddened and actually angry when this monument was destroyed. But there's another side to this story as well. Behind where this statue once stood, and I hope is reinstated and put on the pedestal where it belongs, is the Friendship Masonic Lodge. I joined this organization as a young teen, the Masonic Youth Organization, and I loved it. I met a lot of good young men and a lot of adults that served as mentors and advisors. But part of this story is a good friend of mine, George Covington. He and I played chess together on weekends. We kicked each other's tails back and forth, who could win, who was better. Ultimately, George heard me talk about all the events and activities I was doing with the Friendship DeMolay. He, of course, wanted to know more, wanted to participate. Sounds like a great thing. So I invited George to a couple of the public events and activities that we had. He loved it. So we, in the midst of many other activities, played intramural sports. So the guys met George and said, yeah, let's put him on the team. We had an absolute blast participating in events all around the Portland area. George, of course, ultimately said, I want to join. We approached our advisors and said, hey, George wants to join. Let's get an application. We want to vote him in. But there was a problem. The advisors told us, sorry, black young men are not allowed to join. It's a very sad and frustrating reality. Well, we weren't about to take no for an answer. So what did we do? We took George to every single public event we could. We introduced him to more members of the organization. We introduced him to more of the advisors. Ultimately, in just under a year, everybody loved George. He was a wonderful young man, great person, and of wonderful character. So when we finally submitted a formal application for George to join, they couldn't say no. And most importantly, none of the members of our organization, and it was just the young men that got to vote, none of them would vote no. And George became the very first black American to join the organization of DeMolay, right here in Northeast Portland. Delightfully, within a year, we had another young man who was black join in Oregon DeMolay as well. And very quickly, the color barrier fell. America is the land of hope and opportunity, but it saddens me when the father of our nation and a statue to say thank you and serve as inspiration to so many of us is toppled by young hoodlums. It is so wrong, and I sincerely hope the statue is returned to its former glory and placed on that pedestal where it belongs. To learn more about doing the right thing and about my battle for doing the right thing for you, the citizens of Washington State, go to electjohnlee.com. Remember, Lee is the key to doing the right thing.